No, thank you very much. And now we move to public forum. We have Sue Harrison and Claire Wilson from the Canterbury Property Investors Association. Would you like to join us at the table for 5 minutes to talk to us about your concerns?
I'd like to introduce Martin Evans from A1 Property, representing his daughter Claire, who couldn't be here today. Martin's been very long time landlord and owner of that. And Kerry Beveridge, who's up from Timaru, who's very involved with properties down there and in Christchurch with his properties there. I'll lead the way. We're here to tell you how it's going to affect you as a city, trying to manage housing in Christchurch under the new regime. So I've given you a briefing paper that sort of outlines the 2 key points that we're very concerned about. There's a lot of points that are coming through about not raising rents and things that don't concern us. We're quite happy to be good landlords. That's what we're about. However, the student rental situation and the 90-day no clause, no fault end of tenancy situation is going to create mass social instability in Christchurch. There's no two ways about it. I've got 9 long-term rentals myself. Of those, 3 are suddenly under problems. One of my tenants was bullying her neighbour, and to a high degree, so her tenancy ended on a fixed term. I couldn't continue, so she's moved on. I've got another one in Hornby with 2 disabled children, a foster child, and some health issues, who have defaulted on their rent 6 times so far. We've been to the tenancy tribunal. Their tenancy ends in January. I'm not going to keep them on, so where are they going to live? I've got another one whose neighbours complained to me yesterday about the police coming and drug problems. Their tenancy ends in January on a fixed term also. They won't be continuing because I can't afford to keep them on as tenants in my houses under a new regime where I won't be able to get rid of them. These people have got to find a new home. How are you going to house them? There's social instability happening already because of these changes, and it's going to be very, very widespread. We've got to protect our property. So I'll hand over to Martin, who will talk about the 500 student tenants he is managing.
Yeah, so A1 Property manages houses 500 students in rental properties throughout mainly Riccarton. We rely on a fixed term tenancy to house these people. They move in February and move out again the following February. And then we're signing them up now after their exams for next year. So they've signed up, they've got a flat for next year, and they go home and they come there in February. So the existing tenant's still there and there's a new one signed up to start again later. The proposal is that at the end of a fixed term tenancy, it automatically becomes a periodic tenancy where the tenant can make the decision to say, I'm going to stay there. So the current tenant will have to say in February, no, I'm not moving out of this flat, I'm going to stay here, and we've already signed someone up for it. So it's going to be an impossible situation where we can't sign those tenants up. The only other option would be to put them on a periodic tenancy right from the start, which means the tenant would move in at the start of the university year and move out at the end 10 months later. So we'll have a period of 2 to 3 months where we won't have any tenants in that property because you can't rent a student property over the summer. No one else wants it except a student. So it means that rental investors won't be interested in investing in student properties because there'll be no return. They'll put their money somewhere else. So it's going to be a big problem if this goes through.
I'll hand over to Kerry. The last time I saw him, he had a black eye from a boarding house tenant who was on drugs. So, managing those social tenants is not an easy task for landlords.
Yeah, it will create a lot more pressure on social housing agencies because obviously there's risks and rewards of having rental properties, and if those risks increase and the rewards don't, then you don't house them. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, so we just want you to consider this huge unintended outcomes of what they're proposing. I think that submissions need to be made and the government needs to really think carefully about bringing in these changes without a long process of deciding which changes will actually work and which changes will make cities have ghettos around them where where there is landlords that can't get anyone else because the neighbours are unsocial, so they take tenants on. So probably Hornby, Aranui, your bad areas are going to get bigger and badder. You're going to need more social housing for the people who really can't find anywhere to live. And here's the other thing, is that only one of the reasons you can move tenants on is for a business. That business, we were told by the government, is legitimately Airbnb. I know as a city we struggle to manage that, how to manage those people. So you're going to have a lot of landlords wanting to do that as well. So any questions for us?
Concise question, if a councillor has one. Sam, thanks.
Hey, thank you very much for that. Well, I would like to say thank you, but it is quite alarming. I mean, in terms of your experience, do you have an indication as to what that's going to do for rental prices going forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious to me. People don't want to be landlords, and this is a good outcome for me. Rent's going to go up, and I'm going to be extremely picky about who I put in that house. I have tenants who have prison records. Who's a really model tenant. I won't take her on next time around because I can't risk it. She might have a druggy brother or boyfriend. Can't risk it.
Sometimes it's the associates that are as more of a problem than the tenant, but that's still an issue for the neighbours.
And if there's a shortage of properties, the rents go up mainly because of shortage and demand. So if there's a shortage, rents will definitely go up.
Kia ora, thank you so much for coming in today. It's always good to hear from different sectors of the community about things that are coming up and how that might impact the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you.